Hi guys, you might have ended up here after watching all my tutorial videos, and this video is pretty much gonna be how to use everything we've learned into one single video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a run of the tower. No timer, just I'm gonna try to do it as quickly as I can, but I'm gonna slow down in some certain situation to explain my thought process and to make sure that we actually, come on, yeah, there we go, that we can learn through how I think. And maybe you will learn some stuff, maybe you will get better at it. That's the actual goal here. But yeah, this is how we're gonna do this. There might be a few situations in which I explain stuff, but I tell you that actually I generally don't do it. Optimization in this game is definitely super important, but also so is speed. And there is situation in which I know some actions are better than other, but I still decide not to do them because it's slower. I'm still gonna tell you how to do these things, and if you playing casually or in challenge run settings, then definitely do these things. But you'll get to know that maybe I don't generally use them in a speedrun setting because I think it's slow, and maybe other players will still use them. But then again, there we go. So tutorial floors, we generally just don't want to talk with CUNY, but we have to, so this is sad. There we go. You pick up your 5 items. All right. There we go. And the Heg, and then you deal with CUNY explaining everything, and then there's battle. So after I've got my 5 items, generally what I will want to do is to set up my stuff. So there's 3 things that I want to do. Go into items, I generally quickly press triangle, which sorts my inventory, and then I equip that copper sword and wood shield. As you can see, movement in the menu is super quick. You can equip and unequip that sword extremely quickly if you're good at it. Its responsive menu is a godsend in this game, and this is super satisfying to do a good menu. After I've done that, I want to press R2 and circle and then go into change lineup. R2 circle is the shortcut to go into CUNY's options, and I want to change lineup to put it behind me. I've talked about it already. I don't want to scout as much squares, and I want to make sure that CUNY is with me behind me so I can cover for him, because I generally am tankier than he is. And if I really want him to tank with me, I will picking him up and put him in melee where I want it. So there we go. CUNY is on AI tree. This is where he starts it as, and that's where I want him. So I don't change AI. He's already where I want him to be. If you want to use a physical CUNY, then you will need to R2 circle, go into menu, change AI, and put it on 4 or anything else, depending on what you want. But I want him to be a mixed magic spellcaster here, so there we go. We have talk with CUNY. We don't want to deal with these tutorials, so we use tutorial skips, and we go into elevator. When you go up the elevator, you're gonna be prompted with the do you want to quit, and some people will go into no and press X. It's slower. You just want to press circle, and it removes the actual menu from your face, and you can go into there faster. Don't mash circle too quickly, because if you are on the elevator and you press yes and then press circle, even though you pressed yes, it will actually cancel the prompt to go up. So don't mash circle too quickly. Alright, so floor 2. From floor 2 to 5, these floors are extremely easy. Unless you're really new to this game, you probably know how to master everything this tower has to throw at you. And these 5 floors are extremely important. More important even than maybe just running and getting more floors in. You generally want to make sure that you have a good inventory. And inventory build-up is what you want to do all the time, as long as you don't have to run away from every battle. Picking up a wand here, a wooden wand. Wands increase mixed magic damage by 25%. This is extremely huge. It might not look as much in the beginning. It will increase my damage, but probably by just a little bit. A good sword would be better, but each and every time Cunie's gonna level up, his spell is gonna level up too, and it's gonna deal much more damage. It's gonna scale quicker than Ko's attack and the sword power. So wooden one is gonna scale really quickly. The wooden one is not a really good one. Generally, like in a tournament setting, I wouldn't try to equip it, because if it's cursed, I'm stuck with it. But just for fun here, let's do this and hope it's not cursed. It's not, so let's move on. Alright, so my mixed magic is going to be a little bit better. It's going to help us kill that troll. What you want to see is a troll as quickly as possible. It's going to give you the amount of XP you need to level up. There we go. And the first level up is really important, because before then, Ko is super squishy. And on level 2, he's actually gained so much HP that he gets kind of tanky. So he can take a little bit of a beating up from here up to level 4, I'd say. If this troll is too much of a problem, maybe you miss him once, or maybe he dodges, or maybe, I don't know, he crits you, or whatever. Never fear to use a fireball spell to kill that troll. That first level up is really important, and it's worth to use a charge of your fireball just to not die to a stupid crit or a miss or something else. So there we go. So you can see me use stutter stepping to scout items without putting them into my inventory. To me, this is really important to make sure that I don't lose time later on into inventory management. Also, these, like I said, these 5 floors are really important to build up inventory, so I'm gonna scout them all. Alright, there we go. So we have a situation here. I could actually press R2 triangle and tell Cunie to move here. It's gonna move up, I'm gonna move left, and then that monster is gonna move upright. And once that is said and done, we're gonna all get in melee where I want us to be. So there we go. I could have just wait one turn, but then Cunie would have been in melee with the pet without me being there to help him. And you want to make sure that you... Oh, and there we go. Now we have a tutorial running. So let's hope it's not cursed, but this Scarlet Wand is a special one. Oh, there we go. Alright. Scarlet Wand is like the wooden one. Increase your mixed magic spell casting by 25%. But this is also a fire wand. And the fire wand, also the Scarlet Wand, also increase fire mixed magic by an extra 25%. So everything I said about, well, the more it scales, the better it becomes, is gonna count double now. And like you can see, we can already one-shot trolls, so good EXP and easy EXP. So this is one, if not the best weapon you can find in a first attempt at the tower type of settings. It is the second best, and the first one would probably be Life Wand, but then again. So there we go, probably hit for 12, oh, 17, this is so powerful. Alright, so Flame's got 20 HP, you want to learn as much as you can about monster HP, and even though you probably won't learn like as much about endgame monsters, it's not as bad because you probably won't have to fight these guys, or you're gonna try to avoid them as much as you can anyway. And so if you don't know their HP by heart, that's alright, but in the maybe floor 1 to 10, I'd say this is really important to learn each and every monster. You're gonna fight a lot, so you want to know if that next hit is gonna be a kill or not. It might, your life might depend on it. So this is a water ball, we don't care about those. Holy Scroll though we do. Like I said in my tutorial, you can actually pick up the item after stutter stepping without doing extra steps. But I find this slower, so I don't do that. I will only use it if I am in a room with monsters and I need to not lose extra turns. If I need to do movement economy, monster we don't care. That's what I'm gonna do. So using mixed magic. So I haven't talked. Oh, Fire Sword is pretty good too, but let's keep that Scarlet one. Fire Sword also increase your spellcasting, only fire though, only the fire spellcasting by an extra 25% as per the Scarlet one, but there's no initial 25% increase. But this is also a 5 weapon damage, which it's with fire element, so it is much stronger than the one initially, like for physical attacking. For mixed magic, it's weaker than the Scarlet Wand, or it actually will get much weaker as soon as the spells increase in damage, but then again, if you find a Fire Sword and you don't have a Scarlet one, really good pickup. There we go. Alright. So MP in this game is really important. Your pet is going to use MP to do everything. We've talked about that. And this does include 1 MP cost for just attacking, 1/2 of an MP cost to cast Mixed Magic. So Mixed Magic is not only pretty powerful, it's also cost less than actual attacking. Your pet is also going to lose a lot of MP depending on which spells it casts, if it casts the actual spell. So in this case, CUNY knows Brid, and Brid can be cast for, I think it's 12 mana. So yeah, way too much mana. You're never going to want to use this unless like it would be life-saving, but it generally isn't. And it actually loses MP by doing nothing. As much as it is out of its bag, just being here and skipping turns is going to lose MP. I can show it off if we needs to. At least we're leveling up, so it's not as if it was a bad thing. 63. Okay, yeah, and 62. You've seen it. So it was 63. It's 62 now. So it loses MP by just being alive. So you might not want to, as much as you're using... well, there's a lot of reason not to lose time in the tower. But one other extra one that we didn't need is that your pet is actually even losing MP by not doing anything. Okay, let's pick up that Winseed actually. Fighting in corridors can be tough in some situations, but this is actually one of the things I prefer in this game. This is always tough spot situational fighting, and if we can get into dangerous one, it would be nice. So right now, this Minerva has got one big advantage. It's got height, elevation, and height advantage, and we don't want to see that into action. So I'm gonna press R2 in triangle and then CUNY to move, and I'm gonna do it, let's say maybe diagonally here, and I'm gonna move diagonally again, and then we're gonna fight and encounter this Minerva on my turns. I don't want to fight from a lower elevation, so now I do extra damage and receive less because we're on the same ground, and this is really important. Especially against a Minerva, this is really important. Okay, there we go. Sure, there we go. Blam. Man, this Scarlet one is doing wonders. I really like it. Is that the ball I've seen earlier? Yeah, Repel. I don't care about this one. This is actually a really small floor. Really sad. Alright, here we go. So now we're getting on floor 6, and floor 6 is still debated in the community, as in, should I explore it? And the answer might be no, and this is really a bad setup. So we're in a tough spot here, and I think that since I'm not in melee with anything, I can spare a turn into positioning CUNY into a safer spot. I don't want to lose him, and there's 2 bloom in this room. Even though one of them is sleeping, it might wake up like on the next turn, and I don't want to see this CUNY getting kicked to the face. So there's a lot of way to see this situation, but right now what I think would be interesting is to go into the right corridor with my CUNY. So I'm going to move up right and then right. And the reason why I want to do that is if I get in melee with a monster, this monster, if the sleeping bloom doesn't wake up, it will have to go around that monster to come in melee with me. So let's do this, and then go right this. Okay, so if that bloom was to wake up, so you cannot attack diagonally if there's a wall, a square of a wall in between you and a monster. So that bloom actually has to go down, then down right to attack me. So it's gonna lose a turn to get into melee position. And if there's actually the other bloom is still alive that time, then it's not gonna have a spot to fight against me because it cannot attack diagonally, and the 2 spots are gonna be taken care of. Also, by doing this, I've put CUNY behind me, so no monster is gonna attack CUNY before it has killed me, and I won't let them do that. So this is a lot of explanation, even though I know very well that I might one-shot this Cyclone, or it will be 2-shot at most. So the sleeping bloom might not have to find a place to fight me. But you see my thought process here. Yeah, that's a 1-shot. Alright. There we go. But if I would have positioned myself in another spot that wouldn't be in the actual door, that bloom, when waking up, would have only needed to move once and then he could attack. Then he need to move twice, so down and then down, right? So that's the thought process here. Right. And then let's take care of this sleeping dude. So floor 6 is the introduction of blooms. And blooms are a pain in the ass. They hit for a lot of damage. And if you don't have a scarlet one like I do, fighting is really, really rough. Okay, there you go, Maniva. On the floor before, floor 5, you got introduced to Manivas. And Manivas are also water monster and really resistant and strike hard. But they're really manageable. You just need not to encounter too many in a row. But blooms are one step worse than that. And this is problematic. And you don't want to see these guys around ever. And this is still debated as if you should explore floor 6 or not. With this setup, I feel confident exploring floor 6. There's nothing that's going to deal so many damage to me as I won't be able to deal with it. Unless I get hit by so many monsters at the same time that I don't know what to do. But, like 70% of the time, I'm really scared of exploring these kind of floor. Oh, Familiar Bell, come and say hi. I'm really stressed about exploring those floor because if you don't find anything and then you end up using resources to get out of these encounters, then what good was it anyway? Even if you got maybe 1 level up. Okay, there we go. If I move down left here, I'm gonna get into the encounter, but I have the 8 advantage, so I wanted to press on to make sure that I counted the number of square between me and the opponent, counted the number of turns and how would things happen, and then I can kill that bloom with only getting hit back once instead of twice. So this is much better. But you can see my HP is actually already running out. So yeah, this is oh, there we go. So this is what you don't want to see. I'm already low on HP. Okay, there you go, Cuny. And I don't want to use resources because I haven't found anything really useful here. And okay, there we go. I haven't found anything really useful in this floor, and actually I found a blaze ball, but it was in this room I spawned in. Okay, there we go. And we want to leave. This is dangerous. I could have used resources without winning any new resources, and that's what you don't want to see. Floor 7, there is no discussion here. This is the introduction of U-boats, and there's going to be many more blooms. You see the elevator, you use it. And this is going to be true for floor 7, 8, and 9. So you might end up exploring them because you don't see the elevator. But as soon as you find it, let's get the hell out of Dodge. So copper coin, don't care about this. Floor 8 and 9 are super scary. You're going to be introduced to U-boats, and we don't want to be introduced to U-boats. Yeah, pick up that dude. And as I heard, we don't care much about it. Sorry. Fire Crystal, yes. Fire Crystal might not be the best item ever, but it can get you out of a pinch, and it's actually, if your inventory still has space in it, there's no reason not to pick one, but it might be the first item you get out of your way. So you might have seen me talk about U-boat dancing before, and we're going to do a little bit of that just to showcase it. So a U-boat it's inside the ground right now, and I cannot affect it. So even if I was in line with it and I was to use a ball or a spell or something, this U-boat is gonna just dodge it. It's gonna pass all over its head, and it won't care about it. So the only way to actually deal damage to U-boat is to let it attack you. It's gonna get out of the ground and then attack you, and then you can fight back. The problem is it's going to attack you first. That's what I said at the beginning of that sentence. And it's dangerous. You don't want to let a U-boat get the first strike each and every time. You're going to lose so much HP. And even after that first strike, it's going to attack again because I'm not going to one-shot these guys. I could try to pick them up. Then really risky. You can pick them up, but really risky. And if it doesn't work, you get hit again. And they have a very high attack power. So I might want to skip a turn here. And then the actual rules of how they work is that they will get out of the ground when they are in melee with you or melee with your monster, but they cannot do it if you are on their square. You can, your monster can, and the enemies even can be on their square. And when that happens, the U-boat has to move away from it or skip its turn there, but either way, it has to do something else than attacking. So if I move right now, it has to go back. This is gonna get scary because of that clown monster, but then I can probably deal with both of these, or at least try. And if I fail, I'm gonna get killed pretty violently, but I can try to showcase what I would do here. So move again. So right now I cannot skip turns anymore, because if I do, this U-boat is gonna attack me. And if I move anywhere except away from it or on its square, then I'm gonna trigger hit to attack me again. So I have less option than I used to when I decided to skip that turn. But I might get out of that situation because of it. So let's try to see. So I could try and decide that getting hit by the clown is less much of a problem than it is to get hit by the U-boat. So the way I would do that is actually move again and get hit by that clown. So let's try this out. And then I would pick up the clown, and if it doesn't work, I'm in a really big amount of trouble. But let's try this out. Picking up the clown doesn't take my turn, and so I can still continue U-boat dancing because it didn't get a turn to attack me. So I would do that, and then I want to push him out again, because right now if I go to the elevator, this U-boat is going to get a free hit, and it's going to make me drop the clown, and I don't want to get to see that in any situation. So U-boat dance again, then U-boat dance again, and then I want to make sure that CUNY is out of the way. If I was to press left right now, CUNY's preferred spot is behind me, so it would move right, and it would get hit by that U-boat. We don't want to see that. So I'm going to order CUNY to move left, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to order CUNY to move left again. I'm going to move down left, and then I can use the elevator without getting it, except the one hit I took from the from the clown. So that's how I think generally. That's how you're going to see me play. So this is a bad situation. There's not much you can do other than deal with whatever you have. You want to make sure you kill the awake one before the sleeping one, of course. Maybe I want to use an item here. Alright. Okay, and right now I want to kill the one that has actually a chance to attack me here. So this is just making sure that we... Oh yeah, and CUNY was not brainwashed. That's perfect. Alright, so there we go. Pick him up because I want to make sure it doesn't step into that... Oh, there we go. Hi, U-boat. I want to dance with you. There we go. So we actually got a really good setup to explain U-boat dancing, and I'm happy about it. But now you hit floor 10, and U-boat doesn't exist anymore, and that is a good thing. The next big threat is going to be on floor 12, and it's going to be called Krakens. But Krakens are going to be pretty rare on floor 12. They really are going to be a big threat on floor 13 because their spawn rate is really low on floor 12. But one Kraken might end your runs. It doesn't need to be a high number. But you might be able to get through floor 12 without seeing one. So you hope for that. But starting on floor 13, they're going to be everywhere, and you're going to have to deal with those. Or find the elevator as quick as possible. So it means that floor 10 and 11, well, there's nothing that threatening. Like, there's Griffin, and there are Herbal, and Volcanoes are tanky and everything. But they're not gonna, like, completely wreck your runs when they're one-on-one against you and your pet. So that's not really a one-on-one, but you guys get what I mean. So what we're gonna want to do here is explore and refill our inventory. We might have used resources through the U-boat's floor, or we might just not have a filled inventory as of yet. So we want to make sure that we recover, and that's what we're going to do here. Even though I see the elevator for floor 11, I want to explore first, so I'm going to do that. Okay, this is going to be painful. There we go. Oh, this is going to be really painful. So, okay, this monster is going to attack from range, but it only attacks from range when Ko is in range. If I wasn't slowed, I could move up, and by moving up, then it wouldn't be in a direct line between me and him. CUNY would move right, and then it would be in line with the troll bowgun, but it wouldn't attack at range, because it doesn't attack at range your pet. It only attacks at range yourself. Since I'm slowed, I cannot do that anymore, so what I might want to do is change it to AI1, and then move up left. By moving up left, this enemy is going to have to move twice. And if I'm lucky, it's going to move like left and then whatever, and it's going to get hit by CUNY. And if I'm unlucky, then it's gonna move up left first and then shoot me, and there's not much I can do here. So let's try this out. There we go. Alright. Cunie's moving twice, then it's my turn. So we've used AI1 to make sure Cunie would attack once, but it didn't attack once, it's attacked twice because it's actually not 2 turns, it's you move once, then the enemy move twice, and then Cunie move twice. And so I could use that to do even more than triple attacking, it could be quadruple attacking. And then I can binge on the fact that I think that I'm gonna kill hit with mixed magic, but if I fail, I'm probably dead. So slow traps, yeah, there's not much you can do. I could also eat a medicinal herb, but if you know me, I'm a risk taker. So let's try this out. And we're dead. And we're dead. Oh, damn. This is so bad. Alright, so eating the medicinal herb here was the way to go. I probably not killed it for like 10 HP, probably like less than 5 HP. It was probably pretty close, but hey, you gotta try things from time to time. But I think this is still a very good explanation of how I tend to play. Past floor 10, this is generally where you have a good inventory, you know what stuff you have, and you know how to get out of a lot of situation. It's floor 1 to 10 that is mostly the biggest problem. Even though these are the easiest floor in terms of the monster they're on, you're so weak and you have access to so little items unless you got really lucky that it might be like, and most importantly, if you get to floor 30 and 40 all the time, then you maybe don't need that much of my tutorials anyway. So I think the floor 1 to 10 was a good setup for you guys to learn the basics and the first floors. That's what you're gonna fight against more often than not. So thank you guys for watching, and this was fun. Let's do that again. See you guys.